Ryan, do we have everyone scheduled to attend, or were we going to miss some people? You're muted. There you go.
We had everybody scheduled to attend.
Okay. I'll wait just a little bit.
Okay.
Just making sure I'm not missing anyone. Patrick and Barry are not currently on, right? Okay. Oh, there's Patrick. I'll give Barry another minute and then we'll get started.
That means you could nominate him chairperson.
Say that again.
That means you could nominate him chairperson.
Oh. We'd have to run the rest of the meeting, it looks like. Hand it over halfway through. All right, well, it's 6:32. Any objections to me starting? He can hop in when he shows up. It's kind of awkward, your first meeting being Zoom, but we'll figure it out. All right, I'm gonna call this meeting of the North Liberty Planning Commission to order Tuesday, July 7th, 2020. Roll call.
Ahern. Bathke.
Here.
Heisler.
Here.
Keogh.
Here.
Marks.
Here.
Pentecost.
Here.
Staber.
Here.
All right, well, welcome Jessica to your first meeting, and welcome Barry when you're able to get into the meeting. We'll welcome him when we see him later. Moving on to agenda item number 2. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Move to approve. I'll second.
Moved by Patrick, second by Jason. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All right, agenda item number 3, we need to elect a chairperson. Could I have someone from the city just explain what the chairperson and vice chairperson are supposed to do? Oh, Barry's here. Hi, Barry, welcome. Oh, he's kind of here. Okay, could I have someone from the city just explain what the chairperson and vice chairperson are expected to do?
Yeah, so the chairperson runs the meeting, reads the agendas, and calls for the votes. And this is a yearly position. Elections come up at the first regular meeting in July. And so fortunately, I didn't forget. And the vice chairperson carries out those duties of the chairperson when the chairperson is not present, or if they abstain due to a conflict of interest.
Okay, great. I'm gonna open.
With that in mind, I'd like to nominate Becky for reappointment or election to the chairperson position.
I'll second that.
Great. I know Josie motioned, but I couldn't see who seconded.
Patrick.
Oh, Patrick seconded. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Same sign. All right. Motion passes. Thank you. Next up, our vice chairperson.
I nominate, this is Bathke, I nominate Staber for the election to the vice chairperson, re-election.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion by Josie, second by Kylie. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, congratulations, Patrick.
Oh, I'm so thrilled.
In the event I cannot perform my duties, you are up.
I can't wait.
Actually last year, my very first meeting that I was supposed to be the chairperson, I couldn't attend and you had to step in right away.
I think that was what happened, yeah.
Yeah, I missed the very first meeting due to illness. So, okay, so moving on to agenda item number 5, request of Lynn County Rural Electric Cooperative Association to approve a site plan. Could we have the staff presentation?
Sure. So this is a 21,000 square foot warehouse building for Lynn County REC. They're adding 2.57 acres to their existing property and making a total 8.07 acres. I'm going to try and share a screen. Let's see if this works. Okay, zoning, you see the property south of 240th and the existing property on the east side. The property is zoned industrial. We'll go to future land use next.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so there's the industrial land use in the gray. We'll talk about this in a few minutes, but notably the land use to the south, the yellow is residential, and the other color is commercial with residential. See how quickly I can move through these. Trying to use the site plan here. So this is the existing site. There's existing driveway entrances on 240th Street, and this would be pavement added to connect to the existing driveway. There's a city water tower at the south end here. Water superintendent expressed no conflicts with access to that. Here's the 21,000 square foot warehouse building. Most of the parking would be inside the building, and there would be an accessible parking spot over here, and some stormwater drainage features to drain to the stormwater pond, and landscaping. And so let me get to building elevation. Pretty utilitarian, as I would call it. Vernacular architecture, we used to say form follows function. But we're set back from the street, so we don't have the masonry requirement. What we did ask was for the earth tone color palette. And so this would match the colors of the building adjacent to the street. And you see the garage doors and things like that. So not a lot in the code that we can require. So just provide our findings. Industrial use of property be consistent with the I-1 zoning and the comprehensive plan of industrial. And the code section for approval of site plans is 165.04.2, so it meets those requirements. And so there were some outstanding comments from the fire department, so we're asking those to be addressed. And as I mentioned, the future land use of property to the south is both residential and mixed commercial and residential. And so we are asking, and we didn't be prescriptive on this, but we are asking for additional landscaping along that side, because so that landscaping could mature in the event if somebody requested a residential or commercial or industrial use. That would certainly be consistent with the long range plan of the city. So we are asking for some additional landscaping along that area. And I'm going to try and stop my share. And so that's all I have. I know the petitioner's here with us.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. Is there an applicant's presentation tonight? Oh, Doug, you're muted.
Doug Brain, Brain Engineering, 1540 Midland Court, Cedar Rapids. No presentation, just kind of here to answer any questions you guys might have.
Great, thank you. We'll call you in if we have any questions. I didn't see any public documents or public comments in the document. Were there any that were added since we received that?
Unreceived. We did not receive any.
None, okay, all right. Okay, so commission, are there any questions or comments for this agenda item?
This is Josie. 2 points. One question actually for more of the city staff, and then one in general. So this use south of 240th, but it appears east of the Jones Boulevard Trail. So would it have any interference in any potential future plan to connect that Jones Boulevard there to the trail? Or is it far enough east that it's no issue at all?
It's far enough east.
Okay. And then it seemed like it. I just wanted to hear it for sure. And then second question, 240th is very busy right off of that on the cul-de-sac, just on the first initial yellow there. And I just wondered, have they looked at any issues, no traffic concerns on use, kind of what the plans were? Is it storage, regular day-to-day use, heavy use? Because there's no stop sign at that driveway or anything. So any significant traffic expectations or just a small general neighborhood?
Yeah, I mean, I'll let Kevin correct me if he feels I'm wrong, but this is really just for the employees of REC. So they're essentially just pulling into that building warehouse. So we don't expect it to be very high traffic really at all. And I don't think you're going to notice much of a change out there.
Yeah, I don't know that I have anything to add to that. We don't expect a whole lot of vehicles from this use.
I have a question about the landscaping request. So there's nothing in the code that's requiring additional landscaping there. It's just to kind of look at, we're suggesting additional, or the city is suggesting additional landscape in the event that in the future, when that land south of it is used for the commercial and residential, that it'll just look nicer, right?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. And so as I go through the code requirements, right, and you have the minimum standards of the ordinances that we apply. And if there's anything additional that I would ask for, I need some rationale for that. And so the rationale that I used was looking at the future land use map and saying, although this property to the south is zoned industrial, future land use map designation calls for it to be residential and commercial with residential. And so there's a reasonable expectation that somebody could come in the future and ask for that property to be rezoned. And if we don't take action now, and of course we have no idea what's going to happen in the future, but if we don't take action now and allow some landscaping to mature, you're going to have a potentially incompatible zoning and use adjacent to an industrial use. So we weren't asking for a opaque vegetative buffer, just some additional trees that once they mature and the tree spread can kind of come together. So it's based on a rationale that there could be residential development based on the future land use map.
And those trees are, oh, I'm sorry.
The condition's going to be specified what landscaping, because as it's phrased in this request, they could put low to the ground flowers and meet the condition, right?
Yeah, my feeling was to certainly have the applicant present something back to us to move forward to city council. I didn't want to get so prescriptive to say one tree every 30 feet. The tree spreads in there on the south are about 1 to 40 feet. I think that's pretty reasonable. It's just you never know quite what you get into with the engineering. If you're too prescriptive, then you run into problems like that. So that's what I would anticipate seeing on an amended site plan.
Sorry, Becky.
No, you're fine, Jessica. I'm happy. Jump in. I love it. And so the landscaping you're asking for it to be on top of the looks like 4 trees, or are those trees already there?
No, those would be proposed trees. So we would ask for them to be, along the south property line.
Okay.
And interestingly, there was a less landscape requirement because most of the parking spaces are inside the building. And some of our tree planting requirements are based on your proximity to parking spots. And so you didn't have that in the parking lot, so you didn't have that code requirement. So I think just placing additional landscaping along that south property line will help offset that.
Okay.
And I just wanted to add that I've already added that to the site plan, basically matching the pine trees that are on top of the berm for the detention basin. They're just going to match that and add more pine trees along there to try and block that view.
Great. Fantastic. Are there any other questions or comments from the commission?
Becky, this is Josie again. I just wanted to clarify that the responses I got answered my questions, and that I don't have any concerns, and that so far REC has been a good neighbor. And so I'm supportive of this when we get to the point of motioning to move it forward.
Great. Thanks, Josie. All right. Well, if there isn't any more discussion, may I have a motion for our recommendation to City Council, what we're going to recommend?
I will motion.
Okay, Josie, are you motioning to recommend this to City Council or including the 2 pieces? Sorry, Ryan, were you going to jump in there?
Yeah, I actually have a suggested motion if you'd like me to pull it up.
Yes, please.
I can actually read it if I can make the movement.
Go ahead, Jessica. That'd be great.
I move that the Planning Commission accept the 2 listed conditions and forward the site plan to the City Council with a recommendation for approval subject to the 2 conditions recommended by city staff.
Great. So I have a motion by
I
Jessica
will second. This is Pat.
and a second by Pat. Thank you for saying your name because I didn't quite see who said it again. All right. Any further discussion? Okay. Oh, seeing none. Roll call.
Pentecost,
Aye.
Marks,
Aye.
Heisler,
Aye.
Staber,
Aye.
Bathke,
Aye.
Keo.
Aye.
Ahern.
Aye.
Great. Motion passes. I get a little confused. Jessica, my maiden name is Marks. So when I hear that, I almost answered for you. So if I ever do that, I'm really sorry. I don't mean to jump in. Okay, agenda item number 6. May I have a motion to approve the previous minutes?
This is Pat. I'll motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Pat, second by Jason. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All right. Do we have any new business? Oh, sorry, old business. Jumped ahead. Any old business?
I just want to interject real quick. Can you clarify, Becky, whether the motion carried just for our record?
For approval, oh, motion passed for approval of previous minutes?
Yeah, just so we have a record, since we don't really get to see everybody light up, it might be helpful for our clerk to just have that entered into the record.
Great. I will make sure I say that after all of these two.
Thank you.
Motion passes for approval of previous minutes. Was there any old business? Nope. Okay. Any new business?
I'll just add that we've got 2 small rezonings coming up for next month. So you probably saw those notices for neighborhood meetings. So we had 2 decent neighborhood meetings. Didn't seem to be a lot of objection, but you never know. So we'll see what we look like in August.
And a question that I had asked before we started the meeting was about any future plans to have our meetings in person and what would that look like versus online. I don't know if that falls under new business, but Ryan, could you share a little bit about?
Yeah, we were actually talking about, for the benefit of this group and the audience, I'm sure vast audience watching, we're making plans to actually have an in-person meeting and working out how we're going to space people adequately and manage participants coming in, and having staff in a different location and instead of at the dais. And then we started to see an uptick in cases, COVID cases in Johnson County. And so we kind of talked through it last week and thought, is there a rational basis to hold the meeting in council chambers at this point? Or is there a rational basis not to hold the meeting and continue to distance? And it seemed like with the uptick in cases, there was rationale not to hold it publicly. I know that we are anticipating having council meeting with Zoom next week, and I would expect that we'd kind of be looking at this on a week-to-week basis. So hopefully soon, but just we keep hoping we're going to hear better news about this COVID situation, pandemic.
Anything else for new business?
This is Josie. I just assumed that the commission would follow suit with what the actual city council does if and when they return to in-person, then we would, or are the two not connected?
This is Ryan. The other Ryan, can you hear me?
Yep.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. I'm sorry. I'm on my phone tonight versus the computer audio. Yes, I believe they are connected, to answer your question, Josie. And in fact, we were hoping and planning up until last week to start city council meetings, live in-person meetings with the first one in July. And it was just, we decided actually today that we're not going to do that, and anticipated a little bit of that last week. That's why we just planned to go virtual here tonight. And I'll be surprised if we have any in-person meetings yet in July. Hopefully in August we can reevaluate, but at this point we'll be seeing each other over the computers for a while.
All right, thank you, city staff. I think that's a wise decision. I'm still remote for my job, so I appreciate you guys considering that. If there isn't anything else, may I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
There you go. I'll second.
All right, motion by Jessica, second by Patrick. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, motion passes. We are adjourned. My gavel.
Thank you, Becky.
Thank you.
Everybody safe and healthy.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Jessica and Barry.
You too.
Nice to meet you. Thanks.
See you in a month.